Dave Snyder here. It is December the 8th, 2015. And this is weather back in 2014, actually, of September 14th. And this is a typhoon near China. And I want to explain the weather first because I got some people that have been asking me in some comments, to explain and that it's nonsense, sounds like nonsense. Okay, it's far from nonsense. Basically, you look at the weather every day, and I've been doing this for, like, I don't know, the weather probably about 3.5 years, I guess, pretty much every day, a couple times a day, and you start to see the patterns repeat. Every pattern, all these patterns are not random. Like this one here, you seen it in 2014, and you could see it in 2013, the same exact spot, around the same time of year. Same with the hurricanes and that we have over here, right? And we have hurricanes over in the Atlantic. We know that those are basically limited to that area and this area in America, right? Okay, so they happen in the same place. So I mean, that's the same thing with all weather around the planet. It all repeats itself. The patterns are not random. I mean, they happen in these places because of the shape of the surface of the Earth, basically. That's what that's what it all comes down to. That's what I try to explain is these patterns are not from the sun alone at all. I mean, this one here, where the hurricane started in the Atlantic, right? You're going to get these same things starting in the same place almost every time. This one here starts in the same place. Right here, it's basically showing you the surface of the Earth. This pattern right here, this hurricane, this tropical storm, or whatever the hell it is, it's basically showing you something on the Earth. It may not be right over the spot. It might actually be here or right here by Costa Rica, where the whales go to have their babies, right? Where they go to have their calves or whatever. They might actually migrate to this area. There's a spot in the ocean that's warm water right there. And why is it warm? Not because it's on the equator, and necessarily. I mean, that probably has something to do with it, but it's because there's an undersea volcano or a vent under the ocean, and this weather will show you that. And when that vent has an eruption, it's going to heat up a large area of water because it would be like boiling that section of the ocean, basically, if it's big enough. And it is big. That's why they call this the Godzilla El Nino, because it is huge. And you can see the pattern that's on the ocean floor in the weather. And that's the case with all weather, the way I see it. The way I look at weather, that's the case with all weather. Because you can take the land away, as I've mentioned before, like this right here. You could take this land away from the globe and just give me the weather, and I'll know where it is because it shapes itself like the land. The weather, I mean, you can see that's the Himalayas, because the Himalayas and the Tibetan Plateau and all this land around, all that weather is being shaped by the land on the Earth, right? I mean, that's not that hard to understand that, right? All this is the same thing. That if that weather's being shaped by the plateau and the Himalayas and all that, then this is being shaped by something on the Earth too, even though it's over the ocean. Okay, this is showing you like this typhoon happens here every year, every single year so far. There's been like a typhoon right here by China, and this is the lunar South Pole pattern backwards on the Earth, right here, every day, all day. Okay, that's what this is, right here. This is the lunar South Pole pattern, and you can put Mare Oriental there at times. It shows itself here, and like the jet stream also, it follows a pattern that's on the Earth. It's not just in the air that shapes it. I mean, it's following the surface of the Earth. The surface of the Earth, there's a big hole in the Gulf of Alaska here that shows the Pacific blob at times. Sometimes you'll see a perfectly circular pattern right here, showing, I mean, just perfectly circular. And you'll see that same circle over in North America right here. Exact same circle. You can overlay the two, and they are the same exact circle. So something on the Earth creates those circular patterns that are here, 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 and they're from the same place. They come from the same thing. Like this was a pole, this was a pole, or over a pole, and this was over a pole, something like that, right? So anyways, the weather shows you the surface of the Earth all the time. All these things. That's what it shows. So when you look at the weather, just look at it like that. When you see this, that's on the ocean floor. Even though these are clouds up in the sky or whatever they are, this is being shaped by what's on the ocean floor. And sometimes when you get a typhoon somewhere out here, it's probably like an eruption that happens at the ocean floor, because we know there's big undersea volcanoes in the Pacific. There has to be. We know there's the biggest one is like right in here by Japan. One of the biggest ones, they say is the biggest one, but I don't know. I would say the biggest ones are probably over here, right here, where the monsoons happen. Okay, so I've already shown this overlay. This is the lunar South Pole pattern. I guess I could show you real quick. I'll save it. And I'll show you. And I don't know, you can go through this is back in time, so like you can go through and you could change it an hour ahead or a couple hours back, whatever. I just stopped at this time, so let me save that real fast. And I want to show you some other one. That one I just showed right there too. I want to show you that. I got a few things. This could be a long video. I just want people to understand, because I'm tired of typing it and explaining it, and I'm not really good at explaining anything, explaining things as it is. I mean, I'm to the point where I'm getting a really good handle on it myself, because I use the geologic formations and the weather to bring everything back together, and I'll show you that in a second. Just hang tight. Okay, so I'm just going to title that You. I don't know why, but that's what I'm going to call it, because I haven't used it yet. That's the picture I saved from earlier. I'll show you that in a second. That's important. Okay, so You. This is the button you choose for overlays on this, right? I've got to go to my folder and pick a picture. Okay, and then you just open it, right? There it is on the globe, and just leave it there. I don't need it to be that big. Well, I'm going to adjust it in a second anyway. I got to bring up a picture of the lunar South Pole first. Okay, so here we go. Got a lot of overlays. I've done thousands of overlays, people. I'm telling you, it's just thousands of them. Lunar South Pole, Indian Ocean. Oh, it's pretty much aligned already. Most. Okay, so let me get this to fit how it's supposed to fit. I mean, this pattern is all over the planet Earth, people. This is like one of the last times it really showed good. I mean, it doesn't show that well anymore. They've totally. I brought this out, and they've changed it ever since I started doing this. I'm telling you, they have changed the weather, made it shitty since the day one. As soon as they figured it out that I was on to it, they totally downgraded the weather on Google Earth, so it's almost unusable unless you get overlays or something. That is that pattern right there, all day long, every single day. It is the same pattern. Lunar South Pole. You can see it if you look in the weather every day. Now, like I just said, they don't show it as well as they used to, but that is what that is. It's the lunar South Pole pattern showing itself. All these typhoons are from Schrodinger, like that, just like that. Okay, so there that is. Okay, so go back to turn this off. All right, so the last one I did was this one right here. I saved this. What time was it? It was last night at 7:30, right? And this is a pattern over North America. Look at that beautiful circular pattern there. And it's a new moon, so we'll see a lot of these circular patterns around in the weather for the next few days or whatever. Should. Okay, and then we have this pyramid shape right here, right? I mean, look at that weather, people. Just look at that weather. That's showing you something important, because this weather does not originate here. I mean, it is originating here, but it shares locations on the Earth elsewhere. Watch, I'll show you right here. Okay, so I did one here. I believe I just overlaid it right here. See this shape? Now watch. See that spot on the Earth? That's the same thing. It's the same thing. They share this area where this weather is, and this area of the Earth were in the same, start out in the same place, you know, or have shared that spot at one time, or were there at different times, whatever. But and it's not the only one. It's right here on the Earth. Obviously, it's right here in the Pacific, and then it's also right here in Africa, but not in this picture. You won't see it in this picture. I'll show you which one you see it. see it in this picture, right in here. This is the same thing. You'll see it right here. Actually, it's all over the place in Africa. That's why they build. I believe it's why they build the pyramids, because they've seen this pattern that I'm just showing you right here. I've showed it many times before. Where it's totally filled in like a pyramid, and then you got the alpha and the omega and all that kind of stuff too. But anyways, getting back to this, the weather shows you the surface of the earth. Now watch, I'm gonna bring up a picture of the moon that's been flipped over, right? It's been flipped over already. And I just threw this up there. I mean, I literally just threw this image up there just real quick. Really quick. Okay? And then look at this spot. Look at this area right here. Go full screen, check it out. It's the same thing. It is absolutely the same thing. The whole area, this whole weather pattern, the whole thing. I mean, look at this spot right here, this white, and then look what's below it. I don't even notice these things till I only adjusted it one time. That was it. Put it down and look at it all fit. And look at this pattern here. And then that line, and then you see the line on the moon there, comes up to this right here. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's a damn good fit, because it goes with this. It absolutely, I've shown Mare Oriental Basin over North America right there. The weather pattern shows that so many times since I've been doing this, so many times. But anyways, so there's that. Another one. Bear with me for a minute, because I want to show this exactly how it happened. It may not go as good as I'd like it. Here we go. Turn this off. And then, okay, so look at this. Look at the ocean floor right here by Africa, right? See this teardrop shape right here? I don't think I've shown this yet, but see the teardrop shape? See the teardrop shape, this desert right here? Okay, so you take the two, you take China, you save this area of China, which you can see is a half circle, or it's all the continents are made of circles. There's a big circle, right? Okay, so anyways, you take China, you overlay it over the spot, lining up that desert to that teardrop shape in the ocean floor, right there, like that, right? You just do that, and then you can look at it like that and see, you can kind of see that some things look pretty good, like Lake Victoria and this right here line up pretty good. Then what I did is, after I did that, I really only aligned it to the ocean floor there, this picture. That's it. I aligned that desert. That's all I did. And then I brought up images like my Mare Oriental, my Mo Perfect image that I've had up here for months, right? And it does never move. I never remove it, and I didn't adjust this picture to fit this picture. I just lined up that desert like I said. So here's Mo Perfect. This is a drawing of Mare Oriental Basin from 1978, and it's reversed over the earth. And just take a look how good it fit all on its own. All by itself. No adjustments whatsoever, because this Mare Oriental picture is right in place on the planet Earth, right in place. You can see the desert shape. See it? You can faintly see the shape of the desert there. It's a hard picture to see, kind of, but it's right here. Okay. Now, there's more stuff. Hold on. See where this crater is? That ring right here. This one. And see that spot right there? That goes together. And I can't focus in on this picture because it's a saved image. You have to go to China to find that other Maunder one right there from Maunder. And you'll see it there, and then you turn it this way, and this, I'm telling you, I wish people would just watch some of my older videos, because that was better stuff. I thought a lot of good stuff there, but these ones here just set themselves right up all by themselves. Look at this spot right here, right in here. Just watch. That is such a nice fit. It is beautiful. So that fits. And then what did I do? Oh yeah, then I brought up. So what I did after that, right, was Australia. After I brought that up, I know Australia, the east coast of Australia, which is right here, right. This curve right here is the exact same curve as the Himalayas right here. So basically, I brought up Australia next, and I don't have it right on the same exact curve exactly, but I did it first. I had it lined up exactly right along the curve there. But then when I did that, when I brought up the Mare Oriental picture with this one, I noticed there was a little room for adjustment there. So I show you what I did here. I brought up this one, and I could see when I brought it up that this edge right here was really close to being right where I got it now. See how it fits Australia right there, that curve, the whole end. So I just basically adjusted that Australia picture to fit this. I did adjust that. This picture will never move. I did adjust Australia to fit this spot right here, and then just check it out, where the center of the impact ends up. Right, look at that. That's Australia. The land down under. That's right, under. Under what? Because it's not because it's in the southern hemisphere. It's because it's under. It was under. That's why it is the color it is. All the heavy stuff. If you've like ever prospected before, you know that all the heavy stuff settles to the bottom, and that's usually the iron and the gold and all that. Well, you won't find bigger chunks of gold anywhere. I mean, you find the biggest nuggets in Australia, and you can see that the dirt, the soil, the whole continent is red from being the land down under because it all settles to the bottom. Anyways, you will find this Maunder crater right there in Australia if you look in there close. This is not you can see the circular pattern there, and that's the center of the impact right here where you see the big white spot right in there. You see this curve, it's the same thing, trust me, it is. I mean, I've done this so many times. And okay, so the next, what I did, so I have this up there now. Turn this down. So I also right after that I found some weather. It was over North America, which I think is right here. Okay, it's this weather here. The other day from over North America, it was on the 3rd. And this weather, when I've seen it, I was like, okay, I know the western part of the United States also goes over Australia, like this, or like another way too. But anyways, I could see the curve here, right here. I could see that curve, and there's this loop. This is the jet stream. This part's missing, as you can see. They kind of cut it out or something. But the jet stream usually loops down and loops back up right here, right? So it creates this big loop, and I know that loop is there, and I also know it's all here by Australia on the ocean floor, like this loop right here. And if you go down there and look, you'll see it right here. It goes like this. It's a big circular pattern. It is absolutely a circle, trust me. Okay, so that basically I lined that up to this best I could right there, like that. And then I brought it back this way and made sure it fit Australia right in here, right? I made sure it was going to fit that first, and I could see the curve there, and everything was like in place. And then what that does, when I bring up Mare Oriental, after aligning this to Australia only, after bringing up, I brought up Mare Oriental again. Brought up Mare Oriental again. And where's the center of it land? Right over North America, right where I've shown the Mare Oriental pattern countless times, right in the center of this part of North America, right there. So that put that in place really well. Put it right in place. Because I've seen it there 1,000 times. It puts itself there all the time, so I'm just saying it's there all the time. So that puts this all together. These continents were all like in the same place, and it creates that curve all in the same place on the Earth somewhere. And then what you can see after you take away all of this, and we can see that we're in the right place because we got this weather right here that's in this picture, and it ends up over Africa, right? Okay. Well, right there where this weather is, you can see this is part of Egypt right here. You see this triangular shape right here, that goes over this part where you see this, right? And it is, I'm going to show you a different picture right now of Africa that shows it better than this, just Google Earth one. They won't show it to you. So here's a better image that shows this, and I actually realigned it to fit it right. Let me see. One second. Africa over Africa. Okay, so here you see it better actually. You see where it's more, this edge is here, and this goes up to this right here. Watch. See that corner right there? Okay, well that's the same as this corner right here. It's the same thing. And then what I did is I just, instead of using this picture that I have really aligned to Australia, I brought up this other one instead. And that one is right here. Where's the other Africa? So that's weather from ancient Africa. You can see this. It is, trust me. I mean, the weather shows you so much. It's not even funny how much the weather will show you. Okay, so another thing I want to point out is the weather and the geologic formations. It'll point out all the time. So you see, what was I doing the other day where that came into play? I mean, I find stuff so much, so often. Like South America, basically, this right here, South America and North America. Oh, okay, I was going to show the one from earlier. That's right. I'll just show you that. This. Okay, you see how I lined that over the top of the Philippines, right there. Well, look at this whole thing right here. You can actually see this flat edge. See the flat edge right here? It's like this flat edge that goes along. Papua New Guinea down there, and it's got this corner. This whole area right here is the Marianas Trench. This is the trench, showing you in the weather the actual trench, right? And it does go there. It does fit there. Okay, so that's showing you the trench, and it shows you that there's something going on over this spot in North America. Okay, so we got the west coast of North America right along this right here, right? And then South America ends up being right here, which I've shown South America used to be here because you see the smiley face here, this curve, and we know New Zealand comes, shares that spot that they don't show on Google Earth. But anyways, it goes right down there. Here's the smiley face right here, the curve. They don't show it very good on this picture either, but it's right here, and you align that to this curve here, and it goes there. That puts North America right along here, just like I'm showing you right there. And that does go there. At one time, North America was right in the spot, because this is more than likely where all of the continents were built, where the deepest place on Earth is, and where all the subduction is. I mean, they say everything was created in the Pacific, pretty much, or they say something like that. And these used to be the poles at one time. These were the poles. Not any longer. So the weather, I can't even stress that enough. I didn't explain it very well in this video, but it's another thing I wanted to explain was the lunar South Pole pattern. I'm telling you, that is such an important crater to the world. It has, like I showed earlier, well, I didn't show it actually because I never uploaded the video, but the goddess Schrodinger Basin leaves its print all around the whole planet Earth. The whole lunar South Pole that I started showing you in the beginning over here, the typhoon, that pattern goes all around the entire planet. You'll see it all over the place over North America. You'll see it over South America right here. See this big round spot right here? See this round curve? That's the edge of a Schrodinger impact right there, or a Schrodinger print right here. Schrodinger is such an important crater that it's actually been it's been a lot of things important, I'm telling you. So many things. They built the Jesus Christ statue right here in Rio de Janeiro because of that crater. It's right here. That crater is associated with Christ, and it's associated with a lot of other things. The Sphinx comes from that crater. Comes from that crater. Not comes from it, but I mean that's where they get the idea for it. I'll show you that in a second here. I'll just bring up a picture. Sphinx pictures. Okay. Gotta have the right image of that Schrodinger basin. You can't just use the one on Google Earth. It's garbage. You have to have this image. This is where the Egyptians actually get their and the Patriots and all that. I mean, look at the head right here. This is the Sphinx where it comes from. This is the cobra in the center of the head. Just overlay the Sphinx right here, or any Egyptian headdress right here, and you'll see that that's where they get it from right there. That's where the Sphinx comes from. Because this used to face the earth. How do I know it faces the earth? Because we see it in the weather every day. Every day. Not as good as we used to, but we do still see it every day in the weather. You'll see it 3 times across one section of the earth in one day, all at the same time. I'll show you that picture right now. I'll show you that picture. Right here. Here it is right here. Here it is again right here. And here it is again right here. 3 lunar South Pole patterns across the country, across the planet, right there at the same time. 3 of them. Circular pattern with the wing, or the like wing coming out the back. That's 3 patterns all on the same day, same time. I know they look different than the first one I showed you in the beginning of the video, but they do show like this. It does show like this. Absolutely. Look at this pattern. It was in the Gulf of Alaska. Look at that shit. See that perfectly circular pattern? Look at that. That's the Pacific blob right there. Where's that come from? That's from the poles? It's a pole spot, or probably it comes from the North Pole. Or this was a pole right here where this is showing itself. Right here in the Pacific. This was once a pole. And right now it's a hole. But you will see that same exact hole over North America right here. Same hole. I don't know, it's usually not that big, but I mean that's something. I save all that stuff. There it is backwards where I overlaid it on. I had to reverse it so I could overlay it on the moon, so I could find where it went on the moon. But I just did it the other way around instead. There's the pyramid shape. Turn it this way. There's the pyramid. It's this way, and then this is like the omega. Okay, same thing, same thing. All these things all come from that Schrodinger crater. I'll show you in a second. With the wings and the angels and the king in the center, or Jesus in the center, or Columbia in the center. See that? That's all. That shows that spot right there. That shows that spot that creates the hurricanes. There's a like undersea volcano right here. They say there's like an impact in that area, and it's not just like they're not comets that hit the earth. I'm telling you. What killed the dinosaurs was not a comet. Okay, so we've got a lot of pictures here. See the wings and holding the arm up here. The goddess. If you look up goddess statue on Google Images, you'll see that most of the goddesses have their arm up. One arm or the other is going to have, and they'll have. Some of them have this ring. Some of them have the torch, and some of them have wings. But they all share that same. Some of the same things, the arm up, they all are in the same pose. They all have this drapey robe pattern on, right? I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so there's weather showing the surface of the earth again. There's a big hole right there over North America, right around Yellowstone. So you got to pay attention to weather in those areas. That's the sign for Christ, which. Okay, so you can just go through here. We'll run across good stuff here. Good. See the dragon? That's Antarctica rock structure right there. There's the polar vortex. Look at the size of the circle now. It's the same size I've been showing you. Okay. Okay, here, and you a lot of times you'll see the line, but this is, here you go, the arm up, right? The arm up and the line. That's going to be, see the line. There's the line again. This one has the arm out, but just look at the head and everything. I'm going to show you why. Here, I'll just show you why right now. Turn this off first, and I will show you why right now. Because weather shows you things that they don't show you. Okay, this is a typhoon. I can't remember the name, Akai or something like that, Koi or something. But you see this pattern in this. This is where they get coins from with the eagles and all that stuff. I'm telling you, look at this. See this? This is like the goddess, and I'm telling you, this is what they seen when they used to see that crater on the Earth, because it's so many things. It's like I said, the Sphinx. It's why they built Stonehenge. You see like the goddess right here with the arm up and the ring in the hand, the ring in the arm, and the drapey, clothing. I'll show you some overlays with this right now. But anyways, let's see. I mean, all kinds of things will fit in here. Goddess. That one fits in there. You see the arm up. There's the arm up, right? And the lines there. I never really can see the line that much, but you see the arm up there, right? Okay, well that's really not a good one. I just named it that. Here's a good one with the ring and the arm up, almost like exactly. Look at the head, right? And the drapey clothes, and all that with the arm up, and see the ring right there, and the arm up right here. It's like out and up, and then there's the ring, right? And this is not my imagination. This shit, I've seen so many things in the hurricanes of these high definition images they give us of the hurricanes that show that, I'm telling you, show the surface of the moon. So there's that, right? Okay, there's another one. And then how about the lion and the goddess? Okay, did I show that one already? It's got the hand out, not up, but it's got the hand out. And then we've got the triple goddess. This one's really good, I think. This one really is nice. You see that they have a crescent moon behind their heads, these two here. Okay, just look at the arms and everything. I mean, just check it out. And the bushel stuff down below. Look at the bushel right here. You see this one right here. And I didn't line that up. It just ended up like that. But you see like the, I can see that. I mean, this is not even how good. They've seen it better than this on the surface of the moon. This is in the weather. It's going to be diffused, extensively diffused. But what they've seen on the moon would have been different things. Different people, different countries, and different people seen different things on the moon. Let me just put it that way. Like the same thing. You'll always see two angels on the side and Jesus in the middle, or something like that. This is the Earth. See the Earth. You put any Christ picture in there that has these angels on there, it'll fit in there. You'll see details that'll fit. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. Columbia, there's the drapey clothing. And you can see, like under her arm, you see the drapey clothing. Right? Oh, and the arm up. See the arm up? That's what you see there. Look at that arm up. Wings. And I mean, you can go at that all day, but I mean, this shows you something. Anyways, that print is all over the Earth, and they've seen it before, and it's like was super important to them. It shapes the typhoons. It shapes the typhoons and the hurricanes. It absolutely does. That's a typhoon right there. I mean, it absolutely shapes that. You want me to do the overlay right now? I mean, it won't look like that because they don't show you this pattern in there, but I'm telling you, that crater was Isis, it was the Sphinx, it was Jesus, or whatever, Christ. It is the Christ crater, because where this hits in South America is where they build a big Jesus statue. And in where the Philippines, where the typhoons hit the Philippines, they got a big Jesus statue in the Philippines. You know, and El Nino is like the infant Christ, because it'll show itself over here too. Okay, it's all related. It shows itself over here in North America during the floods of Colorado. It shows itself during the floods in South Carolina. It was over here. I mean, it's just a very important crater to us still today. It shapes the weather still today. Even though we can't see it, the humans did see it. They did see it because you can see that it's left its print all over the earth. It has absolutely left its print all over the earth. Here's the pyramid in China that nobody ever points out with the eye in the middle. Look at that. It's a straight up pyramid. Why do they build pyramids in China? I don't know. Maybe that's why. Or it could be because they've seen this part of the moon right here that's shaped like a pyramid I showed you earlier. You will also see, okay, like I said, you start to see things repeat all the time when you do these overlays thousands of times, right? Well, ending up here often are the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes fit in this spot. They were at that point wherever this is a volcano. The Great Lakes are volcanoes. You can believe that they were glaciers. They were scrubbed out by glaciers if you want, but that's for retards. I'm not joking. I mean, you can look at it, right, and see that it was volcanic. These are volcanic openings. They're deep. They were not scrubbed out by glaciers, and neither were these. Right here, the Caspian is a big volcanic eruption. So is this right here, and so are these areas here. See how they're all like triangular shaped? All these ones here, because they were created over probably over the same hotspot. This one here, and this cast. They're all basically the same M shape, like an M shape kind of, right? So and this is like that M shape right here. See the same thing. So basically, what created the Mediterranean and these two big giant seas would be the same. Would be a volcanic eruption that did that as the continents moved and pushed aside or whatever. But also Lake Victoria is another one. It's a major creator. 200-mile across. That's definitely a volcano, former volcano, and it's a creator. It creates a lot of other places, other parts of other continents. Like I showed China in the beginning, right here with the teardrop shape there. Okay, well there was a hot spot definitely here. You can see this is the edge of an impact right here. So this is like an impact right here. Look, boom, right here. You can build it. You can do it. Builds. It will build. And then Antarctica. We can't forget Antarctica. Look at Antarctica. The Schrodinger Basin goes right here, and then the whole lunar South Pole fits the South Pole of the Earth perfectly. And this is the same size circle I've been pointing out. It's like the circle. Here's Australia, half of the circle. Here's the circle. Look at right here. This is the circle. Look at the size of it. This is a perfect circle right here on the Earth. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Here's half of the circle with the deepest place on Earth in the middle of it. So what do you think? I mean, what are you supposed to just like ignore that? You can't ignore it. I mean, they're not showing us half the shit that's on the Earth that we would probably freak out if we seen it. It'd be kind of scary. There's probably a big hole in the ocean floor there, and then one here, and there's one over here. You know, they're not showing you that. The reason why these whales are dying off, eruptions in the ocean. If there's any whales in the area, and they migrate right here to Costa Rica, right here, to have their calves, like I pointed out. If there's any there at that time when there's an eruption under the ocean, they're going to die. That's why they're floating up on the beaches in Chile, or in the coast of California, or wherever they're floating up, because they're getting caught in that poisonous fucking water from the eruption, and the boiling water, whatever. I mean, it's going to kill fish all around that whole area. It's going to poison that water in the ocean. That's my belief. I mean, it just makes logical sense, and the moon is right here close to the Earth, which makes logical sense. If you know how magnets work, opposite poles attract. Okay, well right now the poles are configured to where it's pushing the Earth away, because like poles repel. So obviously the poles are like, right now they are alike, the way that they're arranged, pushing the moon away somewhat. But then when the poles reverse on the Earth, then what happens? It attracts the moon to the Earth. I mean, that's the only explanation, really, because we know the poles are flipped, and we can see the prints of the moon every inch of the Earth, all over every inch of the Earth. Here's the lunar South Pole pattern over the North Pole right here. See this area here? You can see this on the lunar South Pole, this shape right here. So anyways, I hope that explains everything. Oh, you can do the Zeeman crater on the moon around Iceland. Zeeman, do the Zeeman overlay with this one. You'll see. I mean, they don't give you everything, so you have to use your imagination a little bit, but they give you enough to where you'll see this whole area right here fit. Right here, this whole, it's the same, it's Zeeman. This is the Zeeman crater right here. Boom. Put it over it, try it. Anyways, the Great Lakes right here end up being right here all the time, right? And this in the weather up here in North America, right over here, there's the Great Lakes. Right here, you will see this shape in the weather, exact same shape right here. It's from this. They were created in the same place, and you'll see that right here in North America, above the equator. It's not crossing through the equator to the northern hemisphere and keeping that shape. That shape is right here in North America. And then you have the Amazonite found in the Rockies. Well, it's named after the Amazon, but they don't find that shit in the Amazon. They find it here. Well, obviously, since the Great Lakes fit in here and this ends up fitting here, the two go together somehow. Over the top of each other, one created, then the next one created. I don't know. Things. I mean, you just got to think about how volcanic eruptions create things in layers. There would be an eruption that will cool and harden, and then there will be another eruption, maybe 1,000 years later, that's going to be a whole other layer that doesn't really bond to the first layer, and it just creates layers. And maybe that's how it works. I don't know. Figure it out. The weather shows that all the time. It shows a lot more than that, actually. Yellowstone. Just pay attention to the weather. That's all I have to say. Have a good day.